Okay, we are going to talk about a situation in chapter 2 here that is likely the most difficult part of Lección 2. El verbo gustar, the verb gustar, which in English we will most often translate to our English word to like. To like something. Though we need to understand right away that the verb gustar does not directly is not the direct equivalent to our verb to like. It really means to please. Something pleases me or something pleases him or her. Okay, so that's the first and most important thing to understand, is that it's a little different verb than our verb to like. In Spanish we don't have a direct equivalent of our verb in English to like. Okay? So, the second thing we need to understand and learn and try to put in our heads by memory right away are what we call the indirect object pronouns. The indirect object pronouns in Spanish are me, te, le, nos, os, and les. Okay, repite. Me, te, le, nos, os, les. Okay? Me means me, te means you, le means him, her, or you, if the you is referring to usted, remember, that polite form. So le can mean him, her, or usted, you. Nos means us. Os means you, plural. Youans, y'all, however you say, you plural. Yous guys. And les can again mean either them or again can mean you, plural. You all, you guys. Alright? Me, te, le, nos, os, and les. And these are the pronouns that we use with the verb gustar. Alright? With gustar, it's important to remember that when we're saying something pleases a person, the actual subject of this sentence comes behind the verb. So, in the sentence, me gusta dibujar, what we are really saying here is that even though in English we would translate it, I like to draw, in Spanish we are really saying to draw pleases me. So in sentences with the verb gustar, we almost have to read those sentences, or we talk about and think about those sentences in Spanish, actually reverse of what we would think about them in English. Alright? So, we are not really saying, I like to draw. We are really saying, to draw is pleasing or pleases me. Alright? Likewise, here then we would be saying viajar, which means to travel. Viajar pleases her. Alright? To travel pleases her. Now notice, because le, remember how we mentioned earlier, le can mean either him, her, or usted, meaning you. Okay, remember le can refer to any one of those three things. If I only put le gusta viajar, le gusta viajar, if that was the only thing we saw, that le could mean him, her, or usted, you. Because it has those three options, I need to clarify who that le is referring to by putting an a ella in front of it. So a ella clarifies that it means to her traveling pleases. Okay, or pleases her. The a ella really doesn't get translated when we translate this to English. It is there only to clarify who that le is, because le can mean three different things. Okay? So, le gusta viajar, to travel, pleases her in this case. Alright. Let's take a few more examples of that similar concept. because this is going to take it's going to take some good practice, and the homework online will give you some practice as well. Once again, we have el español. Now you notice on the last slide we had two verbs, to draw and to travel, please someone. Now we have a singular noun. El español is pleasing to me. Okay? Spanish pleases me. Or in English we would translate it, I like Spanish. Me gusta el español. Repite. Me gusta el español. Muy bien. Okay? Spanish pleases me. Now, because this is the actual subject of the verb, this pleases me, when the item coming behind the verb, in this case, las ciencias, when that subject of the sentence, sciences, please me, we have to change our verb. You do this in English as well. Notice when I say this, Spanish pleases me. Okay, I'm sorry, I have it right here. Spanish pleases me. That's the form of my verb because that's a singular form of the verb. But when I say sciences do not please me, notice that's my plural form of the verb. So in English we change our verb as well. We do the exact same thing. In Spanish, igual, the same. Since sciences is plural, I'm saying the sciences please me, I have to change my verb as well. Here my verb just ends in an A. Here my verb ends in an. Gustan. Repitan. Gustan. Gustan. No me gustan las ciencias. No me gustan las ciencias. Repite. No me gustan las ciencias. Bien. Okay? So Spanish pleases me. Sciences do not please me. Now notice my no always comes in front of everything, in front of the verb. Alright? And then if I have a question, I can simply start with that pronoun. But once again, to say, does geography please you? Or in other words, do you like geography? Notice I do not have to come up with a word for do or does. In Spanish we don't have a word for that when we ask questions. We just start with the verb. So my question is, does geography please you? Notice I've changed, instead of may saying I like these things up here, to now I'm saying does it please you? Do you like geography? ¿Te gusta la geografía? Repite. ¿Te gusta la geografía? Muy bien. Does geography please you? And remember, we don't need to come up with a word for does, because it's already, when we turn something into a question, that does is just kind of already in there with our verb. Does this please you? Alright? Let's move on to a little more practice. As we mentioned previously, if my pronoun is a le, by that le alone we don't know if it's him, her, or usted, you. So if I say Spanish, my sister likes Spanish, or Spanish pleases her, referring to my sister, then I can clarify that le by putting a mi hermana, to my sister. Le gusta el español. Spanish pleases her, and that her is clarified by saying a mi hermana. Okay? Similarly here, las ciencias don't please her. No le gustan las ciencias. Now here's a good example of why I would not need to clarify that le. Because I've already said a mi hermana le gusta el español, we already know we're talking about my sister. So now I can just say no le gustan las ciencias. And I don't need to say a mi hermana again. We already know we're talking about my sister. See? No le gustan las ciencias. She doesn't like sciences, and I don't need to clarify that le any further. ¿Está bien? Okay. ¿Les gusta la geografía a ellos? So now notice I've changed this to a les, so it's asking, Does geography please them? Once again, that les, remember, can mean them or you all, you plural. So again, I need to clarify. But because it's a question, now I will clarify by putting that little a phrase at the end. ¿Les gusta la geografía a ellos? ¿Les gusta la geografía a ellos? Do they like geography? Does geography please them? And we clarify the them with an a ellos. See? So, a little bit of practice. ¿Cómo se dice en español esto? How would you describe this picture? ¿Cómo describe la foto? How would you describe this picture? So, we want to say, he likes to draw. Now, how would we reverse that? How would we say that according to Spanish? Instead of he likes to draw, we would say, to draw pleases him. Right? So once again, we don't need to clarify this le because we have a picture, we have a photo here. So the le, we already know, is talking about him, and we don't need to clarify that it's a him. Okay? Another example, let's take this. What is the activity? To sing. So we want to say, they like to sing. They like to sing. So let's take the activity, let's work in reverse this time, and say, to sing pleases them. So let's start backwards. What is to sing? Cantar. Cantar. To sing pleases, and since it's a verb and that's singular, we stay with gusta, so we stay with the singular form of that. To sing pleases them. And how do we say them? Les. Les gusta cantar. Les gusta cantar. Okay? So with any kind of activities, a ellos les gusta caminar. We could change it to us. A nosotros nos gusta viajar. Now when we say we like, we don't need to even have an a nosotros. We can, it adds emphasis. But we can just say nos gusta viajar, because nos is the only thing it can mean is we, us. So to travel pleases us. Nos gusta viajar. A ella le gusta enseñar. A ella le gusta enseñar. Y a ellos les gusta bailar. So notice with any activities, if we use a verb, dibujar, cantar, caminar, an activity, a verb is singular, so we will always have the singular form of the verb gusta. So this is another way to practice location prepositions. You're going to know location prepositions for Lección 2. So many things I could ask from this picture. I could say, ¿Dónde está el reloj? ¿Dónde está el reloj? Where is the clock? ¿Dónde está el reloj? And you could say, el reloj está encima de la puerta. El reloj está encima de la puerta. I could say, ¿Dónde está la profesora? ¿Dónde está la profesora? La profesora está enfrente del escritorio. Escritorio aquí. La profesora está enfrente del escritorio. ¿Dónde está la mochila? ¿Dónde está la mochila? La mochila está aquí. La mochila está al lado del pupitre. Está al lado del pupitre. Escritorio. We have two words for a desk. Pupitre is like a student desk, Or escritorio is a little larger desk. Escritorio. La mochila está al lado del escritorio. Or, la mochila está a la derecha. A la derecha, a la izquierda. A la derecha del escritorio. Okay, so with a picture like this, I could ask you a number of questions, where our things are, and it would give you a chance to show that you know your locational prepositions. To the left, to the right, on top, below, close to, far away from, etc. Okay? And finally, you should be able to say just basic statements about likes and dislikes. Alright? So we won't take all of these because we've already practiced some, but let's just go through and say, she likes to speak Spanish. So once again, we have a verb, to speak, which is hablar. Okay? Hablar español. So really what we want to say is, to speak Spanish pleases her, right? So to speak, because that's a verb and it's singular, we will have the singular gusta with just an A. And for she, we would say le gusta. Now, if we need to clarify that it's a she, we would do that by saying a ella. A ella le gusta hablar español. Okay? Now, we like to watch videos. Now, we're going to experiment here a little bit. The word for videos is videos. Let's assume that instead of saying to watch, now we just want to say we like videos. And videos now is plural. Videos. Videos. Notice the change of accent when we say it in Spanish. Repite. Videos. Videos. We like movies. So we're not taking out the watch. Now because videos is plural, we will start with plural videos. And instead of gusta, now we need to say gustan. Because we're saying videos please us. And gustan is the plural form of the verb. So, they please us. We put in nos. And we have videos please us. Nos gustan los videos. Repite. Nos gustan los videos. Muy bien. Alright, that sums up the use of gustar, which is a tricky verb in Spanish. But with practice and practice, you can get it. And if you think just a little bit of a reverse sentence order from the way we use our verb to like in English, then you can start to get the hang of it.